So, hello my multimillionaires over there. Today Truth Detective is going to be making you a video where I practice the English language while at the same time explaining YouTube video making to you. And I have this file over here that I did already an hour, and we are kind of talking about all the facets and the aspects of making YouTube videos, and this might like segue also to maybe filmmaking or any kind of project that entails video. But we are going to talk about subjects that are going to be beneficial even off video. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn on YouTube while doing YouTube videos that is not really related to film or YouTube video making at all, that kind of stuff. And I have this couple of pictures over here. These are taken by me also, photographs. And we're gonna talk about lighting. I have asked some questions from all kinds of photographers and also other people like interior and designers about lighting. And the answers I have gotten are kind of finicky. That there are some rules you can use in film making with lighting. But at the same time, I feel that this is also an artistry in itself. And it's really a hard thing, at least with the budget that I have, to start pulling and start putting money into lighting, because with lighting it's always kind of different in different situations, and I feel that most of the lights wouldn't be used maybe that much, and you would have to get different lights for different sets, and I don't like that. Well, that's the problem. I went to this store, in Helsinki, and I talked about lighting with this guy, and he actually gave great ideas that I have used, and he kind of gave me this this path. But I'm thinking how I could like maybe take that to the next level now. I have used it and I have seen what can be done with it, but I'm feeling that I need something purpose built, I need something purpose built for this. But as I said, I have really hard time like even putting like 150 euros into some lighting solution, because I kind of feel that what does this really add, to my life? It could add something to my videos, but does it add anything to my life? I know from my background in art that lighting is everything, while at the same time it's really not everything. It's just one facet. Lighting is not everything. Yeah, you can light the most beautiful freaking pile of shit, and you can make it like look pretty nice, with lights. But I'm still going to say that it's not enough. There has to be something. There has to be something. So it's just one facet. So how can we take this one facet to the next level? How can I take this very hard and very challenging subject to the next level? How can I better my understanding of lighting? I think there are actually, in film schools they probably teach lighting, and you can learn this probably in so many ways. And like but it's at the same time it's kind of a business. It's a business, and there are products at the same way that there are products with audio quality and video quality. There are video cameras and microphones, but I feel that putting money into lighting is so kind of counterintuitive for me. If I had all the money in the world, I would have no problem. I would find the best lights, and I would, if I had all the money in the world, the way would do videos would be a lot different, but nowadays, you know, I have to kind of improvise and I have to use a lot of kind of this, you know, like, man, I'm so limited in this, so how can I like invent something? Well, you can use natural light. You can use natural light. Well, this video, this is like saying you're going to use, and I have been using natural light in my videos because I have, you know, great windows that, you know, let a lot of natural light in, and I feel that, you know, I look good in those videos. They are great, but there's no lighting effects. I feel that there might not be interesting lighting effects with natural light, and it changes so fast that you kind of have to just flow with it and see those opportunities to make the video, but you might not have the right gear with you, you might not have the ideas, and you might end up with a shoddy product in the end. Okay, so you should make it short. Yeah, so natural light, and then I kind of gained this tip from this dude, you know, while I went to Helsinki, that use the lights that you already have. Look around, and he talked about motivational lights. Motivational lights. It was a really great idea, you know. The guy talked about that, and he explained that if there's in the shot a light that is not really giving much illumination, but kind of grabs the eye of the viewer to the light itself, then that's a great idea to use in your videos. Not a light that blinds the camera, but a light that just is a decorative thing. You know, those kind of lights. Maybe candles and lamps and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, some YouTubers use a lot of candles and that kind of. I'm not comfortable with that. You know, they can be quite toxic for your lungs and that kind of stuff. So I don't dig that. But to use in your videos, not the light that blinds the camera, but the light that is just decorative thing. You know, those kind of lights. Yeah. Then you kind of, if we compare this lighting thing to the camera angles, I'm going to ask a question that some of you might know more about where the cameras should be positioned, because I have noticed with the shadows that you should aim to make the camera angles work with the shadows while at the same time working with the lights. So cameras, lights and shadows are the triad of filmmaking. It's not just about the subject, it's about the shadow. You know, this is my shadow. And this is actually taken from that trip when I went to Helsinki. This is from a place called Amos Rex. And there was this projector type of video thing going on. And I went in front of the projector and I took a picture of myself against the wall. This is the wall's texture over here. And this has been taken with the same kind of idea. This is my shadow taken against, a big wall here in my hometown. And it's a projector light, that was behind me. You would probably not guess that, but there's also some texture that you can see in the big picture, And you see this angle, how the text is kind of angled at the same way that the fedora kind of is angled. I have my camera over here and it's pretty funny. And the shadows are the triad of filmmaking. Well, we can ask this question when we go to the camera angles. Is it acceptable that the camera is showing in the video? For example, if you make videos with 3 different cameras, could it be a interest creating thing in the video? That you actually saw one of the cameras in the shot. I feel that no. But you could do it. Yeah, there's nothing blocking for you. You can do anything. No, you can do anything. There's nothing that you can do. But I wouldn't do that. Because usually cameras and tripods don't look that great. Well, you could segue into a completely different topic over here. Could you make cameras look great? No. There's this. I kind of thought that when I got this, this gray suit that you have probably seen in some of my videos. I started thinking, because I had this DSLR camera that I tested, but I returned the camera. That was gray. I kind of thought that, hey, that camera kind of matches my suit. But then again, I kind of thought that, like, making videos where you can see the camera, like, what's the point? Yeah, like, what's the point? Yeah, maybe that could be great for somebody who tries to sell cameras, but otherwise, I'm not a camera marketer. No. Okay, so if we try the filmmaking. So the shadows. Let's go to the next part of filmmaking. There's the shadows in the video. I would really want to, like when it was, the start of the spring, I think. Yeah, the start of the spring, I met this film crew that was filming this kind of police type of, show. And I talked to each one of them about audio, video, light, but I didn't talk about shadows. And in like really the last kind of couple of months, I have really gotten into shadows. And I'm thinking that, the fashion, like the clothing type of stuff, I talked about here about the dress in the videos also, the way you dress in the video, and what is this called, what is the dress called in filmmaking? What's the word? It's the Finnish word is puvustus, but I don't know what it means, in English. It's just, the costuming, costumes. Yeah. For like in my YouTube channel, the YouTube channel name is Truth Detective. So I'm wearing a costume that kind of matches. In some videos, the costume doesn't match. My dress doesn't match. But I'm going to explain to you a new idea of mine named the matching network in your content. For example, when I make videos, I'm an artist. You understand very fast through my videos that this guy has to be an artist. And if I walk around there in the town, from the way I dress, people will, like, from the first, impression, realize that this guy has to be an artist. Like, there's nobody else that can like, pull that kind of like outfit off without being an artist. This guy has to be an artist. So they get it. They don't have to even talk to me. They get it that this guy is an artist. And the way that this applies to, and this like relates to the matching network, is that when I wear stuff that is artistic, it kind of gives the impression straight from the freaking thumbnail that, yeah, this guy's an artist. Even the way he dresses kind of matches that thing. And a lot of artists don't get this. They are just dressing up as regular people. Don't be that way. If you are an artist, dress as an artist dresses, you know. I actually heard this comment, you know, I went to this painting lesson and I just introduced myself. I just went in and I just introduced myself. I make these videos, I make this kind of abstract, you know, photography thing. What are you doing? Like, show me how you paint. And I talked to some to this teacher, and it was great experience also. And the teachers just said that to me, that you even look like an artist, because I had a fedora and I had the detective outfit, you know. And that kind of stuff, that's what you want to go for, and that's related to the matching network. But when you deal with your content, you have to understand that it won't always match fully, but it can match half, you know. There's the half match. You know, that kind of stuff. The matching network. And I have been trying to kind of make some people understand fashion through this artistic type of like viewpoint. And that's not really related to so much anymore about making videos, but you know, I'm going to explain this to you pretty deeply at some point. But now we are going to go back to the lighting and the shadows. Can I wear something? Can I use something that has an interesting shape on its own and use that shadow with a company with light to my advantage in the video? Do you get it? Can I use this shape of the thing? For example, when you design a lamp, when you design a lamp, this is completely like a new thing and a new thought for me, but think about this. When you design a lamp, what would the lamp's shadow look like if it was illuminated by another lamp? When you design a lamp, what would the shadow of the lamp look like if it was illuminated by another lamp? Could you make a lamp in the shape of a fedora hat? That's a great video title. Could you make a lamp in the shape of a fedora hat? The fedora shaped lamp. And think about that. I was talking with this, you know, this artist girl in one of the or an artist woman at one of the art kind of exhibitions that she worked in, and I was talking about shadow. I was talking about the shape and color in general, and I kind of was trying to understand something, because I have been wearing these hats for a pretty long time now, and some of them have a different shape. This one has like a pretty round, pretty large brim, and it creates a really cool looking shadow, you know, I love it. But then there are other fedora hats that the shadow is kind of different, you know, the brim is like shorter maybe, and a different kind of, the shape is kind of different, and it creates another type of shadow. So when you design a product, could you start focusing on the shadow? Stop focusing? No. Of how the product casts the shadow. When it's illuminated. Because when you think about like these lights that are used in filming, usually it's the way that you shouldn't have the lights in the shot, and usually these lights look really bad. They are not designed very well. They do their thing. They illuminate shots. But if you would have that kind of light and you would have a light behind it, you would just get this rectangle box and it's pretty boring. You understand? What if you could make this an element in your videos? What if you could make this light an element in your videos? Well, the guy in the Helsinki kind of like took me into that, direction. He didn't like say it like directly, hey, do this. It just kind of took me into that direction. And what if you could actually make a light in this way, that it casts a shadow? I feel that what I want to do in my videos is kind of that the shadows that are interesting and kind of related to my dress, but at the same time, I feel that, for example, here, could you actually accomplish this kind of thing with the shadow? Could you actually like write with the shadow? Could you like make a sculpture that kind of casted a shadow that read something? That could be also interesting. But with shadows, you always get one color. Shadows are no, actually, is it that way? Like, let's think about it. Let's think about it. A question about shadows. If you used RGB lights, would the shadows that those lights casted on, for example, the walls be the same color, just a different shade, darker shade? Or would they be the same color as every other shadow? Does the color of the light change the color of the shadow? Well, yeah, if you illuminate with RGB lights, for example, I did this one video where I was in my town. There's this like fountain where there are RGB lights, and I kind of had my fedora illuminated by those, myself illuminated by that, thing. And I thought that this is really cool. This looks really awesome. But then again, I kind of started thinking that how could I do that? Like, it would be so awesome if, like, in my town, like somebody could do some like lighting, lighting kind of things, as like decorative things or something that you could use in your video making. It would be so awesome if like this, if there was more of this stuff that could be used as a set to make your videos in the nighttime when there's nobody around, Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff, in bigger cities, that kind of stuff. So that's a question. If you used RGB lights, would the shadows that those lights casted on, for example, the walls, be the same color? Just that's an interesting question. Because with lights, I have noticed that with lights, the RGB lights are hugely more expensive than the regular lights that you can change the color temperature on. There's the problem that these lights usually require quite a lot of power, and they heat up the room. Well, that's not a problem in the winter time, but in the summertime you won't be using these lights probably very much, though, like, and that's also one of the problems. There are those ring lights. That you can use when you want to make a video that's for frontal view. and shot from pretty close. But you understand that they have some limitations with them. I have glasses, so frontal, like these ring lights wouldn't work, and I don't know if they are that good anyway, you know. I've seen them used in YouTube videos a lot. Like, holy shit, how could I break through this, like, these bugs that so many YouTubers are trapped in, you know? Okay, that's one, like, if there was like an introduction to this book about YouTube video making, then you could start it like this. How can I break out of this box that so many other YouTubers are trapped in? How can I make videos that are so different in all the aspects of video making that there's no other way for people, other option but to be interested in those videos when you see them? How can I make videos that are so interested in camera angles and so interested in lighting and so interested in the, like, the costumes, and how can I make the video so interesting, you know? For example, like with costumes, you know, I'm not really into this kind of you know, if you really start to like dress as some like characters, you know, I feel that it's hard to do while maintaining quality, you know. When you think about like the film industry, I'm gonna ask pretty straight this question. I don't know about this, but in the film industry, can the costumes usually be made out of the highest quality materials and make them look so good in terms of how they cast shadows and that kind of stuff? Or are the costumes usually made in the made with other type of things in mind? Because with fashion, they think about this, you know, they think about how does this, like, fabric cast a shadow, how do the shadows look, how does this reflect light. It's more the way that an artist or a painter would like look at the canvas, like look at the teeth. That's what it's called, the teeth of the fabric or the teeth of the canvas. There's the teeth or the fabric texture of the canvas, how the light casts. Yeah, they're kind of saying, hey, you dude, buy that, you know, hemp hat. There are actually hats that are made out of hemp. Did you know that you can make you can actually make clothes out of hemp, but it's really a rare fabric to be used in fashion, you know, like designer fashion. But it's used in clothes, hemp, but it's hemp is usually kind of, you know, it's a gritty canvas. It doesn't create maybe so smooth of a canvas, you know, or so smooth of a, you know. But you can use linen, and you can use cotton, and you can use polyester and these kind of things. And all of these canvases have a different way that they that the shadows are casted on them based on the quality and the color and the print of the thing. So when you make clothes, you have to think about it in this way. How will the light look on this material if we use this color with this print. If you have a canvas that has really a little tooth in it and not that much texture, it's going to look shiny and the light is going to reflect off it better. You can see this in better suits. If you have a suit that is gray, the shadows that are casted on it are going to look beautiful if the wool is high quality. If you have polyester, it's more like a mirror, you know, like it reflects light and it looks plasticky, you know, it looks kind of plasticky. And you can make polyester look kind of good, but it's never going to look as good, you know, as for example like wool or some like more, you know, modern. You know, polyester is an old thing, you know, it has been used for like years. But when you think about, for example, the next time you watch a movie, like look at the light, how it reflects off the costumes, and you can see that the filmmakers play around with shiny, matte textures and surfaces. For example, the guns in the film might have wood and metal in them, and they could use lights that reflect off the metal and illuminate the wood's texture. But there's so much going on in the film making that some parts are bound to be overlooked. And what are those parts? For example, in some, you know, in some films where they feature the fedora, like you start thinking, what fedora is that? You know, how did they make it look so good? Like, why does it look like that? You know, how much like post processing did they use to like make it look like that? That kind of stuff. Yeah. So now we go back. That's something we can learn from the film. So we're gonna be continue talking about the lights. So can I get lights that would be at the same time stylish and functional, while at the same time being great for video making? I have realized that cool lights are bad and warm lights are bad for warm lights are bad for the camera, because the camera exaggerates very easily the warm light and makes your skin red. With warm lights you tend to get your skin turned red. Also, the problem with lights is that they take a lot of space out of your room, and lights should be easily positioned. So I feel that your light should work with batteries, and what I have gained is that usually those batteries are sold separate from those lights, and that's a steal. I saw this. I saw this, this kind of lightsaber type, things that when I went to Helsinki, and I have also seen this in some, other, photography stores, Then there are lights that you can attach on your camera if you don't have a microphone, and that might be a great solution. Some ring lights are also this way, but that won't work when you have a microphone, and that's just the frontal light. If you take another angle, and it's not going to look good because your face should not be illuminated from the front. That's what I have kind of realized, that your face looks actually better when the light is kind of like 3/4 or maybe even almost from the side. If I have like a light and a shadow, it looks better. And the fact is that if you have like a light that is in the roof, that light is going to be kind of, how would I say it? The light is going to look pretty boring, but it's going to be well illuminated, the shot. But I have seen in some of my videos that the lighting is actually quite, dim, even though I have three 4K lights in the roof, and I have tried, like using these, like I have like my lamps, like my lights suck. I have pretty good lamps, but I just can't find anything that I like, I really hate, these things that, are on the floor, and they gather dust, and they're hard to like maneuver around. Lights have to have batteries. You can take. I want the lights so they can take and with me very easily. When I last asked about lighting from the photographers and this dude, I didn't have these kind of questions, and I didn't understand it maybe this well, what I need. And I feel that if I get one good light, that can be enough. Some when I asked questions, they usually say that you need 2 lights, and you should have a light that is kind of quarter view for you, and you should have a backlight. And I would maybe do it. I would maybe start experimenting. What if you placed lights on behind you on the ground? That's a question. What if you placed lights behind you on the ground and kind of above you, or because when I have glasses, and I have the light that comes from like under, like from my waist kind of level, it casts a shadow out of these glasses, and I don't have a light that kind of illuminates me where, like, it usually leaves out. My whole body is not well illuminated in the shots, and I'm experimenting, I use what I have at the moment. I have been actually using this bicycle light. They are great because they are so high power, and the color temperature of the thing is actually so. I have another one of those. I think I have another one of those, but you could use something like that. They are very powerful lights, because they are designed for you to see far, so they can be used in like these situations where you go kind of far from the shot, and I have done funny things with those. So let's now talk about the fact that I would want to find one light that had all of this in it. And because I do that, because I do this abstract photography thing, I would want that light to be RGB so I can play around with making my art in like different, that could create all kinds of possibilities. So that's what I'm gonna go for. I'm going to go for RGB light, and I would want something that is actually designed for video making. And I looked at my options, there are these lightsabers, then there are these hugely fucking expensive, they cost, like, the cheapest option in this kind of thing is like something like 700 euros. Like that's just too much, and they won't work, don't even come with batteries. So I want something that has batteries, that is RGB, that can really illuminate the scene on its own. No, in the nighttime, for example, and yeah, that kind of stuff that I can use in my photography art making. That's what that's what I want to go for. So I have to like look into those products. Something that you can easily take with you, that doesn't weigh much. I have been thinking about tripods, but my tripod that I usually carry around when I film videos, it's so heavy, and it can't be really easily put into a backpack either way. It's because it's too big even when you fold it, I think. I don't know. So now I'm gonna be talking more about colors in the costumes. So the color, you have to understand that black is very bad color for video making, because black doesn't show shadows in it, and that's a bad thing. In some situations that could be used as an advantage in some film, but I feel that black costumes shouldn't be used at all in filmmaking, because black is just a bad color, because it makes the skin color of the person that is in the shot so strong. Do you understand? That's one of the reasons I think that you shouldn't have black suits. Well, if you go to a funeral, then maybe, but you could fly with some other color even in that situation. But you shouldn't be wearing black suits, because black suits, yeah, they don't show like grime and dirt that easily, black suits. But when you wear a suit, you should either way be pretty careful where you sit and that kind of stuff. So the color of the suit should actually be something. It should be bright. It should be colorful, because in colorful things, the shadows emphasize more, and the lighter the value of the color in the fabric, the better the shadows are going to show. But with some fabrics, for example with linen, you get a lot of crumbling in the fabric, and the fabric is going to look something like tin foil. You understand? This is also the reason that you should always have your clothes hanging in your wardrobe and just not leave them around, because they will start to get these crumbles in them and that affects the shadow. So you understand this. you can use this to your advantage in filmmaking. If you are into amateurish filmmaking, start to think about how you could actually use not costumes, but how you could use fashion stuff. I would say that with filmmaking, you can maybe develop the plot line to kind of match that stuff. And yeah, because nobody will wear this stuff in the real life, it won't be really mattering. How many times have you seen black suits used in films? A lot of times, and it's kind of boring. Like, why? Why would you use a film? Why would you use a black suit in a film? Well, it might match to some like thing in the film. For example, if it deals with some office thing, you know, it might match. But why would you use a black suit? I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. I feel. I think black suits are one of the stupidest things mankind has ever invented, because just for the fact that they don't show any shadow on them. And you can't see, black suits are, you know, they are, you can so easily see the quality of the fabric in a black, you know, that's one of the reasons that most clothes are black, is that they are so low quality, you know, the fabrics, that if you saw them in color, you would never buy them. They would look so fucking bad, you know. And I'm going to say that if you are in a really good condition, like physically, like your clothes can completely fuck up how you look, and you can completely take your like how you can completely impress other people better if you start getting into better stuff. But that's beside the point. So, for example, here we might be thinking about 700 euros. You can buy an RGB light, or you can buy a really nice suit. I would always go with the fucking suit. I would kind of limit my budget with lights. Maybe when I think my lighting budget at the moment, how much am I willing to invest into this? I would say under 100 euros. 100 euros. Okay, so that's my budget. What kind of light can I get for? What kind of lighting can I get for 100 euros? Oh yeah, God can supply it to you. You know, there's the sun. At the moment, for example, when I look out, it's really interesting. The lighting is really interesting, but the problem is just this, that it's interesting now. Okay, you're saying I should put 400 euros in it. And you should ask God. I was looking at these two lights that are kind of, yeah, they are designed for film, not filmmaking, but you know, video making. They are rectangle boxes. Both work with wall outlets, and they cost about 300 euros. They are LED, you know, these panels. And I like those panels more than I like, for example, a light that is this kind of more olden style. Some, you know, some lights that they sell are, you know, they're fucking good. They're bad design. They have glass lamps. They have metal, you know, this kind of cheap, you know, things. You know, they have bad stands. They could never be taken with you anywhere. They're just bad, you know. Maybe if you set up your filming thing just once, but I want to always change the way I do things. So no. The problem with my thing is also well, I'm going to be talking about green screens at the like now. Let's talk about green screens. There's the possibility of using a green screen. Okay, and for example, with the green screen, I could put this thing on the background, and I could be standing in front of it, you know, and I could have my fedora, maybe some orange like shirt, something, and it could look kind of interesting. But the problem with the green screen is that it limits the way you can move, and it's limited to the kind of video where you are just standing in front of it and maybe talking about something or showing something. There's probably inventive and creative ways you could use a green screen. But then again, with the green screen, you don't want a shadow. If you have a green screen and you have bad lighting, this is one of the questions I also asked of the guy that was actually a professional photographer. I asked about the green screen. How should the green screen be lit? You know, I don't know if there's a lot of these customers that come and ask these kind of questions. You know, I think it's pretty rare. I asked like a huge. He was very helpful. You know, he was very helpful. He helped me in the end to find the right camera for myself, find the right camera for myself. He kind of talked me through like lighting, and he even showed his portfolio. He kind of gave me the idea that, hey guy, you know, you're gonna do yourself a portfolio. Like, you know, the guy was really helpful. You know, I have to go to Helsinki again and, you know, buy something from the store next time. Yeah, maybe I could get those lights. I don't know. They didn't really have any kind of lights that kind of. Really what I'm kind of going for here is that I would appreciate if the light was actually a designer lamp and I could just use it for my video making. That kind of stuff. That's what I go for. It could be an element in my videos. Like, look at this freaking lamp, you know. Like, holy shit. Because with some lamps, they are so well designed, you know, that, you know, they can cost like thousands of euros, but they was so well designed that you can actually point your camera at it and it won't be a problem, you know. The light goes like up to the roof or down to the like ground, and it won't be a problem. The problem with some lamps is that the light is kind of, you know, you can't point it to like this interesting angles or I'm gonna ask this question: is it the benefit in the lamp that you can point it where you want, or do you just want something that is horizontal or vertical and you can't adjust it in any way? Should you be able to adjust the lamp like you can adjust a great tripod where you place your camera? You know about camera tripods. I have one by Benro. It's great. You know, holy shit, I made a great choice, you know, when I bought that. It was only like 120 euros. But there's like this, you know, this what is it called, you know, in the tripod that you can use to like get your camera in a straight line, and you can change the camera angle with this rotatory ball, kind of like a ball joint, you know. It's like, holy shit, it's so great, you know. I love it. But it's actually not designed for video cameras, but it's so sturdy that you can use it with like a really heavy duty video camera like what I have. Not with anything, you know, professional. But, you know, semi-professional video cams, that's fine. And DSLRs, anything. You can throw anything on that. But it's pretty heavy. It's heavy duty, you know. It's made out of steel, I feel. Yeah, it's a steel tripod. I feel that I'm maybe looking for something different. I would really hope if everything of it would be really awesome if you could like integrate lighting and tripod and you know the lights and the tripod into just one thing. You know. I don't know. So the green screen might be a limitation for your content. But yeah, it could create interesting possibilities for new videos. So what's the price? So what's the price of a green screen? Well, you know, there are green screens that, you know, are, you know, the size of a freaking whole room. And then there are those, you know, about 2 meter type green screens that cost maybe like 150 euros. So that's like 150 euros. But then again, if I'm thinking about, you know, where could I spend 150 euros better? I've been like feeling that putting money into this you know this costume thing, you know, your clothes is so much better because those things kind of will be with you even when you go marketing. You won't take your green screen with you when you go market your channel to other people. You will take those clothes, you know. And when I have marketed my stuff, when I wear my suit, you know, and when I go talk to people, you know, people are fucking impressed, you know. Yeah, people are fucking impressed, at least some of them. And if I was wearing, you know, t-shirts and this kind of stuff, you know, some freaking cheap slacks, you know, and I went to somebody, hey, you know, I make a YouTube channel, you know, I have the most amazing camera gear, I have the most amazing lights, you know, and that kind of stuff. I don't know if that would be so good, you know. It's also kind of, you know, with marketing, you know, this is what I wear on my videos. Like, you would be pretty interested to see the guy like on the video, you know. Yeah, that's that. I thought about that. So I remember some YouTube channels where they really had great lighting, you know, and it makes the video a lot better. So I'm thinking about here a plan because I'm getting a new camera, but I'm actually thinking about that when I get this camera, I'm going to get on top of this. I'm not going to get a DSLR. I had that DSLR and I realized that I don't like this type of cameras, you know. I just don't like them. And with the problems in my, you know, with the ergonomic problems that it had, you know, I thought that this camera is complete horseshit. You know, it's designed so badly. I was like, who thought that this is great? And then I'm thinking about getting a point and shoot, a super zoom point and shoot for my nature and maybe my art photography, and maybe using it on top of that for some video making. But it's not the main point of it. It's going to cost something like 500 euros, the point and shoot, and I'm going to buy it and I'm going to test if it's good for, if I can use that kind of a camera or if it's too heavy, because I have this, you know, these finger joint issues and that kind of stuff, that kind of pain. One of the reasons I'm using this program also, I can no longer type so well. So I'm thinking about that. So if I put something like 150 euros into like lighting, it could be better maybe used to that camera. I feel that you should go like this. You should focus first on what you film with, then what you are filming. So that would entail the costumes and the clothes and that kind of stuff. And then you should focus on your audio also, and then you should focus on lighting. You know, the camera is more important than the light. I'm going to explain this to you in the next video. But thanks for watching. This was a Truth Detective YouTuber book writing brainstorming session. Thanks for watching. And we are practicing the English language. It's a project English mastery, but we are getting a couple of birds with one stone over here. This is in the end, even if this doesn't make anything in my videos better, it's going to make my ability to talk the language better. And that might be getting me some views. So thanks for watching.